Hi, welcome to my video. I'm Jennifer Roberts. You're either catching me on my YouTube channel, True Divine 44, or my Facebook page, True Divine 44. Like, shares, subscribes and comments on either or both of those platforms. Greatly appreciated. And much love to everybody who's done so thus far, especially trying to get the YouTube numbers up. I've actually gotten more numbers on my private YouTube channel rather than the True Divine channel, so I'd love your support there. I haven't been able to post for a few days, sorry about that. I've had to rest up. I had a severe asthma attack, so thank you for all of the messages of love and support over the last few days for that. So I'm still resting up. I'm still very breathless and on meds and whatnot, so if you can bear with me for this video, great. If not, with the breathiness, I completely understand. If noises get to you and things, breathiness and things like that get to you, just leave a like on the way out to be charitable. But much love either way. So this is an energy reading, an invitation for the energies of the 12th of March 2020. It's where I connect with the energies that I'm feeling and translate them via tarot, to give support, guidance to those who need it, to those who want to hear it. So take what resonates. It's general. It's the general energies that I'm feeling around me in the collective. So because it's general, some of it might resonate with you, some of it might not. It might all resonate with you, it might all not. So just do as you will and take what helps. So the first card is the Magician. Magician reversed. So this speaks to trickery. It speaks to manipulation, other agendas. It speaks to either something or someone not working for your best interests, not having your best interests at heart. Or you might be experiencing being this energy right now in the reverse of in the process of tricking someone, manipulating someone, you know, not having their best interests at heart. To which point ask yourself why. What are you going to get from it? Are you going to get a short-term good for you with long-term karma, a debt for you to pay ultimately, one way or the other? You know, and on the wider stage, there's a lot of this going on, let's face it. Very timed, very strategic, very controlled manipulation, trickery, forcing people into a bottleneck situation. Not very pleasant at all, to be fair. You know, the energies that are around on the wider stage are really going for it. You know, they've got their magician's hat out, they've got all the tools out on the table. You've got that big M&M, you know, on the screens, doing their will, casting their spells, casting their confusion, the trickster-like nature, giving both the truth and the lie in the same broadcast, so to speak. That kind of energy, you know, you might have experienced it in the last few weeks, that kind of energy. The second card being the Chariot card. So there's real movement here. In what direction? I feel that for many of you, on an individual side of things, on the individual scale, in your own lives, if you are experiencing, which, you know, everything reflecting on everything, so if you look at the wider stage, it doesn't take a genius to realize that many people in their individual lives are also experiencing, within relationships, etc., friendships, trickery, and manipulation, you know, underhand tactics. So the Chariot card speaks to movement. It speaks to, yes, physical movement. And again, I feel with the Magician reversed, look at the wider stage, physical movement, physical travel is being greatly restricted right now. So, you know, that speaks to part of the Magician's plan here, to restrict the movement and collections of people that are able to collect together, you know, around the world right now. But in your individual lives, it speaks to you. These are both major arcanas. These are both major times. These are both, you know, major changes and major outcomes on the choices that you make when you're in these energies, when you're in these major arcanas. So, you know, this Chariot does speak to, you know, in this card it's moving away from this Magician reversed. It's moving away from this trickery. Now, where this card, the Chariot, can represent physical travel, actual physical movement, I think it also needs to be said that it represents even more so the melding of the spiritual world and physical world, i.e. The etherical world and the physical world, i.e. that you can actually move away from this energy without moving anywhere at all, without travelling anywhere at all, whether either at home or abroad. You move away from this trickster, this manipulative energy by, what's the word, by changing the way you think, by changing, i.e. from the victim of this manipulator, this trickster, this reversed magician, into a warrior, somebody who used their wisdom to see through the illusions that this magician was creating, to move away from it in your mind, to not give it space and time in your mind, to not give it that energy source that this magician so desperately needs for this spell to work. Whether that's in your individual lives or on the wider stage, they're both very pertinent right now to many people, if not all people, in that a major spell is being cast. Now, again, I think I've said it before in another reading, but for that spell to work, there needs to be a give and take. There needs to be somebody, the magician, throwing a ball into the court, and then people within that court throwing the ball full of energy, full of fear, full of confusion, back to the magician, you know, full of energy, ready to use, imprinted with energy, this fear, this confusion, this unknowing. Now, once that magician has that energetic ball, so to speak, of this fear, confusion, upset, then the spell can really get underhand, because then becomes a feed and frenzy within the collective of fear and confusion, upset. So you see crazy things happening And you know, the big M&M on the screens is quite happy to broadcast that, to again throw even more balls, throw even more spells into the court for even more people to fill it up with energy, fill it up with fear, fill it up with confusion, and throw that very full energetic ball back to this said magician to use, to get a imprint of what is the collective willing to be sold on. What is the collective willing to be controlled upon without riots, without uproar, without righteous anger for their sovereignty? So, you know, then the spell is really underway, because as we see on the wider stage, are you really moving away from this abusive magician? Are you really moving away both in your personal life and on the wider stage from this magician? Now, it's very important to remember with these two cards here, and the way the day is today, that if you were to do this, if you're experiencing this either in your personal life or just as we all are on the wider stage, or both, how do you change things? You change things by sorting you out, by doing you, finding that it's not acceptable to keep throwing that energetic ball back to this manipulative magician, for them then to make you even more into a victim, for them to then tie you even more knots within your head, for you to try and sort through, for you to try and get through, to fight through. So if we all were to do this with the manipulative people in our lives right now, it would send out those energetic balls with a very different imprint back to this sender. An imprint to say that we feel sovereign, we feel divine. In our divinity, we have the capability to foresee, foretell and foreknow that this isn't what it seems, that this isn't completely true, that this has a different agenda, that this has a different outcome planned to it. So do you see how that would, if we all were doing that, how that would very quickly shut this magician up, make this magician take a step back, because this magician would then realize that there's no way we can go ahead with this spell. There's no way we can go ahead with this plan, because there's just too many of these people in their chariots, moving away from fear, moving away from control, moving away from the lies, the illusion that we're trying to set on the stage. It's just food for thought. The third card being the Temperance card, again reversed. So the only card in this daily read that is upright is the Chariot. The only card that shows us where the first step is to our sovereignty in all of this that is going on right now, and all of this, if this reflects in your individual life, which, let's be honest, I don't really see how it can't, because even if you're not buying in to this illusion, so many more of your comrades are, so many more of your brothers and sisters are. So it's still, you know, being imprinted into your mind by all of the discussions about it, by giving it the name, you know, by giving it the tolls, the daily tallies, the daily confusions, So we all do have a responsibility to each other to be this chariot in its upright position, to know that this we can change what's happening right now in the physical world by changing the way we think, by changing the way we react, by moving away from illusion, fighting through any ego issues we have. You know, we should be way past that right now at times like this, to really show this magician here that it's just not your time. It's just not your time to fulfill this spell, this illusion, this trickery. So the third card, being the Temperance card, but it's reversed, like I said. Now, where the Temperance card in its upright is the ultimate alchemist, you know, it transmutes things, it transmutes the darker wounds, the things that haven't served us into lessons that we can use. You know, it can transmute negative energies into positive energies, you know, the ultimate alchemist. The Temperance card upright speaks of balance. It speaks of having gone through times over and over again that have been emotionally triggering, that have been full of emotional turmoil, and they, you know, it speaks to having gone through that so much, gaining some wisdom in knowing that balance is key. Triggers, emotional triggery doesn't belong in a whole person, in a person who is level-headed, healthy in the mind, in the spirit, in the soul, in body. Balance on all realms is key. So now this card is in the reverse. So I feel a lot of people need to get a hold of themselves and need to start doing maybe some I don't know, fact finding beyond what is being spewed out on the screens, or in the newspapers, or, you know, from the parliaments, from the governments. You know, do some independent thinking and see through these illusions, and again, get rid of that ego. Get rid of the ego that allows you to live in fear. Get rid of the ego that allows you to be swooped up by whatever you know, sensationalism that's going on that day, on that week, on that month, and to learn to be upright and in balance, able to take even the most negative things and transmute them across the heart chakra. Not even thinking with the mind, but feeling the way through, feeling whether it's truth, feeling whether it's embedded with lies, and either way transmuting it for your greatest good to come back into balance. And again, if we were all doing this as we were doing the Chariot upright and we were in balance, this would reflect back to this magician in reverse. This would reflect back to this trickster, this manipulator, you know, this game player, spell caster. You know, it would reflect back and it would give a very different message than the message they're obviously getting back right now. And that is, and I'm talking about whether on the wider stage or in your individual lives with people who you're involved with directly, it works the same. If you're in balance, if you're able to move away and reflect your physical world via a healthy psyche, in that you won't stay around and be a victim to any trickster, to any fraudster, to any magician in the reverse, then it reflects back a very different message to this magician. And this magician can't continue. This magician has enough wisdom, has enough wisdom to be able to cast such spells that of manipulation, of trickery, of hidden agendas. So he has enough wisdom to know that it's not going to work. It's not time. I can't do it. I obviously haven't laid down enough groundwork. I obviously haven't put the right ingredients together, because I'm just not getting back that energetic imprint that says this is working, that the initial part of the spell is causing the energy feedback that I need to fulfill said spell. So it's a pretty important day, I feel, for people to really change the direction in which things, either in your individual lives or on the wider stage or both, are going, and really see that actually, people have tried rioting, people have tried being loud, people have tried getting violent around the world. It's so strange, isn't it, that there were so many people speaking the truth about tricksters, manipulators, controllers, and all of a sudden there's a spell cast that locks them down, shuts them up. The message isn't being heard anymore across the wide World Wide Web. Somebody's gone and blown that web, blown it in half, blown it in quarter, and they're going to keep blowing it until it's segregated enough, until it's separated enough that, everybody's just talking about this said spell. So clever. And it's so simple for these spells to not work. And maybe for many of us, this is the greatest test that we've had so far in this lifetime, to really test out and play with the fact that changing our psyche, changing our thoughts, really does change the way the physical world reflects back at us. It really does change the way magicians can be towards us. It really does change the amount of power that these magicians in the reverse can have towards us. So I hope that all made sense. I think it will have done, especially to the right people. It's pretty serious in that we can seriously turn this around if we can just get out of the trickery, get out of the illusion, stop giving it a name, stop giving it the energy feedback that it needs, and just see and play around with it a bit and see how quickly we can dispel this spell, to disperse it, to send it back in fractals rather than full energetic balls, to say, yeah, go ahead, throw it back, we'll fill it up again. Just throw it back, we've got loads of fear over here. I'm a victim. Please throw it back. I'll fill it up for you straight away, and I'll throw it right back. my reading. I don't know what else to say apart from I hope people manage to do that, because that's where the change is, in here. And let's face it, it's the one thing that if we're strong enough, if we have enough wisdom, that magician can't actually control. That magician, especially with the amount of the collective that there is, can't control that, can't do that. So on the bottom of the deck is the Five of Cups. The Five of Cups, speaking of upset, it's the cups where you would usually see 3 cups spilt and 2 cups in the more traditional decks. This is a dragon deck, and in the more traditional decks, the two cups that are still upright are behind the person's back, and they're not willing. They're so distracted by the 3 spilt cups that they don't bother to look to see that there's still 2 full cups that have everything they need to move forward with, to grow with, to expand with, and go beyond with. But for as long as people concentrate on the 3 cups spilt, that spell, as long as they're distracted and concentrating on those 3 cups that are emptying out onto the ground and feeling drained, exhausted, lowering their immune system via stress, then it takes them even longer to look around and see the 2 cups that are full. So look around you, see the 2 cups that are full, whether it's just that you were able to see this video today, whether it's just that you've got food in your cupboards, whatever you need to be, whatever you need to do to make that initial step to see that there's 2 cups full, and that you can start from there to build this chariot, to build this psyche, to build this mental state of manifestation, of moving away from victimhood, moving away from being cattle and being moved wherever a reversed magician decides to move us, and really move forward with our 2 cups and have that reflect on the wider stage, because many of us will do it, many of us can do it, and if many of us did do it, then we would sharp see different headlines in the morning. So have your own spells, spell it out to yourself to be sovereign and be divine, have the ability to foresee, foretell and foreknow through any illusions, to not be triggered, to not be having that auto response that maybe many have been trained to have, and just have discernment, a lot of discernment. So I've got to go because I'm getting breathless. So if you got through this video, well done. 2 cups. That's 2 cups already, because I know I was very breathy. I'm sorry, and words didn't come so easily, so forgive me. I'm still pretty not 100%, but I've still got 2 cups, so we've all got 2 cups somewhere. So much love. Thank you for watching. Thank you if you got through to the end. I'm giving you your 2 cups for that. Please like, share, subscribe, do a girl a favour, go over to the YouTube channel True Divine 44, and subscribe there, get the numbers up there, and please invite your friends to like the page, and share the video in order to get it around as much as possible. Sorry, I'm repeating myself. I'm tired, but I just wanted to get this out here, so I didn't go another day without connecting with you guys, and still giving back, because you're giving to me. You can always give to me through booking a private reading. You can either message me on Facebook Messenger with whatever service you want in capital letters. I won't be doing any massages anytime soon, but I will be back to that soon-ish. But you can book me in for a reading, any energy work, as of next week maybe, and you can do that via the messenger, or any of the contact details above or below this video, depending on where you're watching it. So much love from me to you. Be balanced, discerning and whole. Love you.